As promised then, Stefano Fusaro is with us to reflect on the opening 24 hours of the MLS is Back tournament. Let's start though first by discussing the breaking news. Nashville are out. No real surprise.
No real surprise. It was more just to kind of wait and see when this was going to happen. It was almost inevitable because of those 9 positive coronavirus tests. Now, I was told that the league did make the decision late last night to withdraw Nashville from the competition. But they waited until today to announce just because they wanted to realign the groups. As we know, now there's 4 teams in every group and kind of get all of that information together, as well as the schedule changes that they had to make to accommodate this Nashville leaving the tournament. So that's why they waited so long, but this is where we're at. We got 24 teams left now in the MLS is Back tournament.
Do you think this makes everyone feel a little more comfortable?
It seems like it. I think that they've seen the cases with Nashville and with Dallas be contained to only those teams. And you're seeing now a little bit more comfort with moving forward with this tournament because they were able to contain those to only those 2 teams. And you're really seeing that energy and that excitement to just get back on the field now. You've already got 2 games in the books, and you're seeing the players just kind of just wanting to move forward past this and get on the field and be able to compete.
Let's talk about last night, shall we? And it was a moment that pretty much eclipsed everything else that happened. That incredible protest before, you could really feel it through the television. What was it like to be involved, be there, to see it in person?
Yeah, it was extremely powerful. There was over 170 players and staff on that field, and we watched them come in off of the side field while the broadcast was in commercial break to get into position, and you already saw just kind of that emotion and that power that they felt by being there. You saw some players even go down into tears, right? Because it was such an emotional moment. And it continued today in the Philadelphia NYCFC game. Philadelphia came out wearing the Black Lives Matter warm-up shirts that were actually designed by their teammate, Warren Craval, in conjunction with his charitable organization, Design FC. And when the game started, it continued because rather than having the names on the back of their jerseys, the Philadelphia Union, they had the names of African-American victims of police brutality. So it was definitely something that they wanted to get out there, use that platform to continue to show solidarity for Black Lives Matter.
Meanwhile, there are inevitably going to be some problems early on. One of the striking things I thought watching the game last night was the time it took for the medical staff to help Andre Reyes when he went down. I imagine this is something that MLS are addressing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just by the game today, we already saw the stretcher a lot closer to the field and inside, not having to go through the advertising boards and having to open that up to get the cart in. And we already saw that in that game today. Now, we do have an update on Andre Reyes, the Inter Miami defender. It was a really scary moment when he was elbowed in the throat and almost seemed like he was having trouble breathing at that time. And he did end up going to the hospital late last night, but was released. But because of the fact that he had to break the bubble, if you will, he is now isolated and quarantined until they receive further testing to make sure that he is safe to rejoin his teammates and reintegrate here into the bubble.
Meanwhile, of course, we saw the first ever game in MLS history to kick off so early, a 9 a.m. start. What was that like weather-wise? Yeah,
I mean, at the beginning of the game, it was okay, not too bad, but yeah, by about the 30th minute, it was really hot, very humid. And I spoke to the goal scorer, Alejandro Bedoya of Philadelphia, and he told me that right after the game, he told me that when he was subbed off, he was done. He had nothing left to give, and that's just because of that humidity beating down on these players. It's definitely going to be a challenge. Also, waking up. They told me that they had to wake up at 5:45 in the morning, and at that time, they're not really sure what they're supposed to do to get ready for a game. What do we have for breakfast? What do we do? It's going to be a challenge for these players moving forward with these 9 a.m. kickoffs.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.